Using the fee. Yeah.
I'll explain that some other time.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm calling the meeting to order, and the first item is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second. I have a request for,
Okay, so you have an amendment.
yes, I have an amendment.
Okay, what's your
So
amendment?
in the consent agenda, I'd like to propose an amendment to the resolution regarding the town.
No. You want to, what you want to do is move it to the
I
non-consent.
want to move it to the,
What item?
explain why.
What item? No.
The
Unless I
adoption
ask.
of a resolution of the town of Somerset to recognize the month of October as National Pedestrian Safety Month. I'd like to move that.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, do you want to?
Actually, can I say one thing too? About the consent agenda?
Well, hold on. Now we're commenting on his,
Okay.
then you can
Yeah.
You want me to explain?
just explain why they should
Yes.
support this.
Yes, so I'm overall in favor of the resolution. I just have one amendment to it, which is to add a reference to the Safe Sidewalk Day that we approved for October 20th.
Okay,
that
so,
we
okay, so
add
that's all
that
you have to say.
sentence in there.
That's all I have to say. Is there further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all those opposed, okay. So did you have an amendment?
Well, so on this, it says the consent agenda, it said for the trick or treating from 6:30 to 9.
Yeah.
But on our paper about it, it said 5:30.
Okay, so why don't you move it? Why
And
don't
I,
you make a motion to take that off consent?
Maybe she doesn't want to make it fun.
well, I'm fine. No, I want it to be 5:30.
Well, then you have to take it off. Because if it's on the consent agenda, it's approved like that.
But
So make a
but in
motion
the
to-
actual
so
paperwork,
make a
you have
motion,
it, it
just-
says 5:30.
Just please make a motion to
I would like to
remove
remove
it.
it from the consent agenda.
Okay, okay, and it's because there's a mistake there. So,
There is now no consent agenda.
so is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? And now the agenda as presented.
So
All
move,
those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So we'll put this, is it okay if we put all this after the,
Sure.
we'll put it after the meeting, at the end of the meeting. Okay, so the first item is our public comment period. We have no one in the room. Is there anybody on?
Good.
Okay.
I
thank
would
you.
like to comment, but I can't
Oh.
seem to raise my hand.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why it doesn't seem to be along the bottom in the Zoom. But I apologize. Can I comment real quick?
Of course, tell us your name and your street, so, because it's recorded.
Matthew Zaft, Dorset Avenue. I wanted to make a comment in regards to an item that's going to be on the agenda later that I won't be able to be on for at the exact time. But what I sort of consider the omnibus package regarding fees and costs for different programs throughout town. And specifically what I hope to be an amendment offered to that to remove the refundable deposit for food trucks. This was something that was brought up previously that the pool committee unanimously and across the board, literally like everyone was participating in this discussion, was vehemently against having this fee for food trucks at the pool. The fee was removed. We were very, very happy about that. And then it seems it's back in. And so we're hoping that there'll be an amendment offered to remove it. And just a couple of points I want to bring up on this was, number one, that I went out and I surveyed 6 different pools that we participate with through Montgomery Swim League that I know to have food trucks. Every single one of them does not require this type of a deposit. One of them commented that they actually did one summer and could not secure a single food truck as a result. They actually had several that originally had agreed to come and then backed out once they knew about the deposit, so they removed it from their requirements. I believe it was former council member Condos. It might have been former council member Picard, who are both members of the committee. One of them had an excellent way of describing this, which she described it as we're solving for a problem that doesn't exist. I can't take credit for that great line. And we've never, in all the years of having food trucks at the pool, had an issue with the trucks themselves causing any issues, causing damage, leaving debris. And so if there has been issues at town hall with food trucks, my proposal would be to have this type of deposit only for food trucks at town hall. But we ask, and this was brought up again at the most recent pool committee meeting, and again, unanimously ask that you remove the fee for the food trucks themselves. The final point I'll make on this is that these are small business owners. Many of them are like startups. One of the food trucks we had last summer was actually a former federal employee who had been fired as a result of Doge. As fortunate as so many of us are for $250 to not be a big deal to put down, it is for a lot of these people. The food trucks that are well established, that are flush with cash, Jose Andres has a food truck, that would be a non-issue, but they also require a minimum commitment from us in result of sales. So they'll say, we'll come out, but only if you guarantee us 2,500 in sales. And if we don't meet those sales, if we have thunder, if there's just not enough, we're on the hook for that. The small guys, the new guys, the women that are starting up brand new, the independent local people that are trying it, they don't have this type of money just sitting around, and therefore it's a barrier to entry. So in the interest of good faith, again, if we have an issue going forward, I'm all for, saying, okay, we need to figure out something if we actually have a problem, but there is no problem, at least not yet. And I sincerely ask that we remove that fee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That'll be part of the record. Is anybody
Can I
else?
ask you a question? Oh, Matt? Am I allowed to do that?
Well, you can, but maybe this is like to give testimony, so.
This is just a quick thing that I think would be
Okay.
a good part of testimony. Can you tell us the 6 pools you spoke to, just so we know?
Sure. So it's the 5 that we swim B meets against, which are Carter Rock, Little Falls, Bethesda. I got to remember it now because Bannockburn and Mohican. And then the 6th one was one of the ones we've had a lot of A meets against, which is Rock Creek.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, thank you very much. We now turn to the tree removal permit applications. There are 4. The first is a permit application submitted by Caroline and Howard Cooper for the property located at 4918 Cumberland. A permit application submitted by Ann and Ken Brown for the property at 4713 Trent. A tree removal permit submitted by John and Ilham Salomon at 4701 Cumberland, and another one, Ann and Joshua Bolton at 4715 Cumberland. Dr. Feather, welcome.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Trees, 4918 Cumberland is a large white oak that leans over the alley there. But the cut through, and the residents very concerned about it, and it also has decay on the back side of the tree. So I think this tree probably needs to come down.
Why don't you do all 4 and then people ask
Okay.
questions? And
4317 Trent Court is a holly, 19-inch diameter, and it's dead. 4701 Cumberland is a 21-inch white pine. And it's starting to lose a lot of branches. There's a lot of dead wood on it. And what my concern is, it sits right at the crest of the hill over the intersection of Warwick Place and Cumberland. And it can blow over just because of the poor rooting, because it's on top of the hill. Unstable and pretty. The last one's 4715 Cumberland, 44-inch tulip poplar. It was struck by lightning in July, and it never revived. So that's the 4 trees.
Okay, thank you. Are any of the applicants here? Okay, Council President Barr, do you have any questions?
yes, when you see a preventable cause of tree decline or death, do you ever mention it to the residents? I mean, obviously, the bolt of lightning is not preventable, but are there other causes that are preventable?
Yeah, none of these, I mean, even the decay in the one tree on, 49. I mean, that tree is probably 120 years old. So, I mean, that's an injury that was there decades.
All right. Yeah.
But if preventable, I mean, for pests or diseases,
Yeah, or vines growing or whatever.
yes. So if I'm asked to look at a tree and there's some solution to it, yeah, I do suggest it could be what's good for the tree.
All right, thanks.
Councilor Heller,
No questions.
Councilor Kumar,
No questions, thank you.
Councilor Rovak,
I don't have any questions.
Councilor Khan.
No questions.
And there's no one wishes to speak, right? Council, you prepared to make a motion?
I move that we approve all tree permit applications A, B, C, and D in one motion.
Is there a second?
A second.
I saw Heller first. Is there discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, excellent. Next item, thank you, Dr. Feather.
Thank you.
The next item is consideration of the approval of a proposal for leaf vacuuming and removal services. Mr. Town Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, as the council may remember from last year, we only had a 1-year agreement. And so, an RFP was issued for a new 3-year agreement. It was issued the beginning of September and closed at the end of September. We ended up receiving 6 bids: Ray Brothers Landscapes, True View Landscaping, P2 Cleaning Services, Lucero Landscaping, Lapinski Landscaping, and House Landscaping. In my memo, I provided a snapshot of the proposals followed by other proposals in full. And I can go over all of them, but basically, there was one that was an exorbitant cost compared to all the rest. And they actually in RFP don't say why that is. There was one that was also much more inexpensive than the rest, but the RFP itself was incomplete. And then the other ones were roughly in the same range. I'm out of those in the same range. My recommendation is for Ray Brothers Landscapes, which is the service provider that's been doing it. Previously, they provided quite a good cost breakdown. As far as I'm aware, they have a positive reputation to town. They definitely have prior experience and knowledge. It's a hyper-local company, 5-minute drive from town, and it has a history of offering the service, while one other close in cost RFP, True View Landscaping, does not. P2 Cleaning Services has a history of this type of service, but it is more expensive. And then their bid is within budget. As a reminder, the town budgeted $63,000 for this service in fiscal year 2026. Walter Ray of Ray Brothers Landscapes is on Zoom to answer any technical questions, and I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you. Council President Barr, do you have any questions?
Well,
Thank you, Mr. Ray, for being here.
to me, the question is
You're welcome.
the choice between Ray Brothers and True View, and True View is in fact slightly less expensive than Ray Brothers, but lacks the experience of Ray Brothers, and that's a plus and minus.
But do you have a question, if anybody?
No questions beyond that statement.
Okay, excellent. Council Member Heller, do you have any questions?
I don't. Thank you.
Councilor Kumar,
No questions.
Councilor Rovak,
No questions.
Councilor Khan. I hope
Yeah,
you have a question.
I do.
Because we're way ahead of the game.
I have two questions. One is, when you say that one of the proposals was incomplete, could you please clarify what you mean by an incomplete proposal? The second is, my understanding is that in parallel, there is also an RFP out for ice and snow removal. And would it be beneficial to have one company do both and see if we can have some economies of scale through that contracting rather than have two separate contracts?
So your questions to the town manager.
But I have a more fundamental point, which is I really don't feel that I'm in a position to approve a contract based on the information that's provided. I really feel that.
Well, wait a minute, before you, right now, it's
Just
just
the
that's for the
questions, okay.
debate. So now, do you have a question of Mr. Ray or the?
Those are the only two questions I had for this, at this time.
Okay, so basically your other thing is a discussion,
Yes.
for discussion. Okay, thank you. Are there any, did any,
What could I answer the questions?
oh, yeah, go ahead. Of
Uh,
course, yeah, yeah.
So the first question and answer is, when I mean incomplete, I literally mean that there's still like, for the contact information, it's still like insert phone, insert email, insert address. For the date of submission, still insert date. It was, it just looks very kind of haphazardly put together. It doesn't contain the same amount of information that the rest do. Is kind of what I mean by that. And then for the second one, that's definitely, if we wanted to try to combine those services under one contract, we definitely could. I would have to see, for example, if these companies offer that service. But
You might want to ask Mr. Ray if they offer that service.
Who does it currently work?
Mohair and Tree
Mohair.
Experts.
But do you want to ask Mr. Ray if he does the service?
No, because it would be unfair because the same question should be asked of all of them if we're going to do that, but.
Well, that you can talk about during the day. Because when is the contract is up when?
For snow,
No, this one. The leaf vacuuming
this is
contract.
begin this fall.
So it doesn't have to be voted on tonight.
No,
necessarily.
the service would start at the end of October.
Oh, yeah, okay. So anyway, do you have any further?
No
other
questions.
Okay,
Thank you.
so, and is there anybody in the, want to
I have
come?
a question
Okay, so I'm gonna, is your question,
about the leaf.
oh, yeah, go ahead.
I'm just, this is not appropriate for now, just tell me. Have we had any problems with our service, with Ray Brothers before for our leaf collections?
I would say the only issue that has popped up would be, occasionally we'll get a call from town, a call from residents saying my street has been picked up in a couple of days. That's kind of the extent of it, and then when it does happen, we call them, and I think they've been pretty quick to respond to that once that happens.
Good.
Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna turn it over to the council president to lead the discussion.
All right, couple of things have been brought up. One is, what I said, it seems to be two competitive proposals, basically. And we should think about what that means. And Rohit's suggestion that we combine the leaf removal contract with snow removal contract. So those are the points that we made. Any other points that I missed, other than not having enough information to decide which or not just now. So who wants to comment?
I'm happy to comment. I guess in terms of combining the two services, and I want to know, what does that get us? Does it save us money? Or is it just that we're dealing with one vendor for these two things, that are pretty major for us at times, not the snow so much, but every now and then, yes, it is. No crystal ball here to know if it's going to be this year or not. So I don't know what it gets us by combining them. I don't know that we save any money. I also want to say that I'm kind of somebody who's a little bit true blue. So if we've had good service and the price is competitive, I don't know why. We've looked at, as you looked at the other prices, I read the proposal. I don't know why we would change. So.
And I mean, I agree, and I think that that's also, we've had that snow removal guy come in quite a bit, and like, they've been really, they really have been good. So I assume the snow removal people don't do landscaping in general, but.
Yeah, actually, what I was going to say is that it's not fair to introduce that at this point in time without giving the snow removal guy and any other snow removal people a chance to bid on the whole thing themselves, to do leaf removal as well, snow removal. We would have to do it next year and advertise it and make sure that they're all included before it was fair. So I think we should consider only leaf removal at this time as our footing.
So you prefer to make a motion?
Let me just come back to a more fundamental point I have. I think I have concerns about the process. I think that our procurement process needs to be a bit more robust. So just as an example, the RFP asks for a technical proposal and a cost proposal in the bidders. They have provided that. Now, I think a robust procurement process would have a scoring of the technical proposals, so that we would know how each one of the bidders ranked on their technical proposal. We know how they ranked on the cost proposal. That's straightforward in the memo. What we really don't know, I mean, I guess one could read through every proposal, but now we have two more. I don't know what to make of this. The way in which a transparent and accountable procurement system works is that if you ask for a technical proposal and a cost proposal, you score and rank both. And so I'm not comfortable voting on a contract in the absence of that. So, you know, we must have clear criteria, which we do in the procurement policy, I believe. Then you score then on those criteria, and you basically say, here's the cost criteria, here are the cost rankings, here are the technical rankings, and on that basis, that's how you make a decision between the different proposals. I am very sympathetic to saying that we should not change horses, you know, when they provided us good service. But then that should be a criterion that should be scored. That's how transparent procurement is done in organizations. And so I really can't on the basis of the information. It's not like I'm opposed to any particular bid. I just don't feel the process is.
Okay, so what I want to suggest is, so, you know, we've come a long way in procurement. When I first got here, there was nothing. And now we have a law and we have the beginnings of a good procurement, but definitely it can be improved and more professionalized. So what I would recommend, unless you want us to create that now and do that for this one, that's fine. But if not, I would just suggest, because I think probably there's a majority to pass this right now, but I would say to you that we would pledge, the staff and I would pledge to come up with some new, because you know our town manager loves this kind of stuff. And I'm sure that our town manager can come up with you can come up with a more robust one for the future. But I think that given all the facts right now, I would suggest that the council approve this for this year and then pledge to improve our system. And you can vote against it or abstain or.
Yeah.
But I think a majority probably, given that this company has worked with us and all that.
I'm not filibustering anything.
No, I understand. But I mean, I'm glad you brought it up because I think it is important in the future that we improve our procurement. So with that, is anyone prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, well, I was just gonna add to Rohit, a comment to Rohit, which is that we have before used a review committee for assessing the contract proposal. That was for the design of our web, actually, a couple of years ago. And it worked, and with that criteria that were employed. We can't really do that for everything is the point. We don't have the resources to organize that in the town. And what you're looking for is people who do have both the interest and the expertise to be able to review it accurately and assess the technical criteria. Cost criteria are easy, and the technical criteria is the big one. So we've got to be careful in our choices when we use it and when we don't use it because of our limited resources.
Well,
we have to bear that in mind too.
Well, Mr. President, I think our town manager can create one that would work.
Yeah, and I don't think it's too difficult.
I don't think, you know, let's put him up to the test.
All right. Anyway, so
We'll work on that.
I'll
I mean,
propose-
I'm delighted to improve our procurement.
Okay.
But anyway, go ahead,
I will
you.
propose a motion to award the leaf vacuuming and removal contract to Ray Brothers for this round.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
Okay, thank you. The next item is consideration of the approval of Dewberry's proposal for surveying and engineering services. Okay, Mr. Town Manager.
I'll go ahead and turn this over to the council for discussion, but I will
Surveying,
just mention that
planning.
Kevin Mack of Dewberry is on Zoom as well. For questions. That's all since it was discussed at the last work session, I know.
She has nothing to add.
Nothing to add.
Okay, so should we start with question? So Council President Barr, do you have any questions?
I'll hold my questions for just now.
Sorry, what was that?
I'm holding my questions for just now.
Have questions?
Right,
You're holding questions for.
right. I'll let the other council members go first, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, Councilor Heller, do you have any questions?
No, why isn't he going first?
He can pass.
You can
He's-
pass too.
he's allowed-
No, I don't have any.
That
questions
happens all the
besides that.
time. That happens all the time in legislative
Fair
bodies.
question. Okay.
Did you?
No, I don't have a question.
Okay, Councilor Kumar.
I had a clarifying question to start. This is for us to approve this implementation plan. What are we approving here?
You could technically approve the whole thing, but you could also just approve segments of it. That was the council at the last work session kind of discussed the plan in front of them, in front of all of you. And basically, since it's broken up into phases, the arc of the conversation was which phases to approve at the beginning to start now.
I see. Okay, and so then to that effect, do you as town manager and the town team have a proposal against the proposed phasing from Dewberry?
Yes, so it's pretty much in line with Councilman Bercanos, he submitted his earlier. I think it's a good idea to start with the 3 kind of hotspots that are not townwide, that are very specifically identified as problems. I know they've been brought up by the Public Safety Committee, by the Pedestrian Safety Working Group. And so I think
And those 3 hotspots, just for the record.
Cumberland and Surrey intersection, Deal and Cumberland intersection, and the Essex, current Essex
Yes,
sidewalk
Cliff.
turns.
And then, and so you're proposing start with those 3?
Yes.
Okay, and in the Dewberry proposal, they are giving us an estimate of the cost.
Yeah.
So we don't know the actual cost, this is their assessment of.
We will know the cost for the survey engineering phases, because those are in not to exceed amounts, since that is Dewberry. But the construction amount is just a approximation.
Fair enough, and for those 3 hotspots, what will be the total, including the engineering, for the rest?
Yeah, that would be,
Well, you look at it's 230,000 for Cumberland and Surrey, 66,000 for Deal and Cumberland, and 65,000 for Essex.
What will be the total?
Crikey, your math is not that good, huh?
I don't want to say anything wrong, 361,000.
Yeah, okay, and then our current budget, how much have we proposed for this work in the current budget?
About 650,000.
Okay, so this, and all of that amount, the 600, just to clarify, how much of that is ARPA?
That's the ARPA.
That's the ARPA, okay. And then how much is in the capital fund that we set aside?
200,000 at the moment.
So we have 800,000 arguably for this, to be able to spend against this proposal.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're proposing to spend up to 360, so
As a start, yes.
as a start. And in your estimate, how long will that 306K work take?
That, I believe,
Kevin
yeah,
should answer
yeah,
that.
that is Bert can answer it over to Kevin. Kevin, the question is, how long would those kind of first 3 phases do you think take from signing onto a proposal to completion?
They could probably they could all be done in a single year.
Single 12-month period,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
But not less than a 12-month period.
Well, all told with, design work, permitting, and then construction, I would say it's probably closer to 12 month.
Got it. And then to remind everyone, ARPA, we've met the criteria of allocating funds.
Yeah.
Allocation is the word. Yeah, so we are now, it's up to us when we spend it.
Not like that.
No, we have to use it.
By when?
Calendar year
Next year.
2026.
And
December
no.
31st.
So by the end of next year, we
Yeah.
have to spend 600K.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your proposal against that timeline and deadline, given the 306K take 12 months? So that's, let's say, November to November.
Mhm. Yeah, so I think after those three hotspots, I think beginning the process of Cumberland sidewalk extension, not of doing the survey design, industrial public charrette work is a good start. And then I think my kind of recommendation would be once the kind of commit to the charrette. So then once that happens, the council can discuss the results of it and then basically commit the remaining ARPA money to either sidewalk extension on Cumberland or starting the process of surveying work for the curb ramps throughout town.
And when would we do that?
That would be, Kevin, if the proposal for the charrette was approved tonight, how quickly do you think Dewberry could turn that around and present to Somerset?
I would say, probably about 3 months, maybe, to get everything organized and make sure everything's going to run smoothly with the actual presentation.
And that body of work, how much would that cost? Over 2,000. So that still doesn't get us to this.
For the charrette, and then the current construction cost.
We don't need to spend 600,000 this.
Sorry, another year.
We still have 6 months of the following.
Okay, well, let
Yeah,
Council.
till the end of next calendar year.
Mhm.
So if we start today, 12 months from now, will bring us pretty close.
Awfully close, yes.
I hate to be in a position.
Okay, hold on a second. Right now,
I'm just
Councilor
concerned
Carr is
that
asking the
that's
staff,
all of
and
us. Yeah.
you can all talk about it after, but do you have any more questions of the?
I
Either
have an
one.
outstanding question.
Yeah, so they're thinking that, for say the charrette goes well and town council wants to move forward with Cumberland sidewalk extension, it would be about, 300,000. 300 for Cumberland sidewalk
For
extension,
construction.
for construction.
Yeah, but there's also the famous $90,000 for engineering.
Yeah, so it would be, so it would take us the rest of the way. Cumberland sidewalk extension.
Okay, so is there a scenario in which these works could be done in parallel or sequentially, speedily enough, so we are within a month?
It's all in Dewberry's hands.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we
Really, let him
I
answer.
think we would push Dewberry as hard as we could, but it would be a kind of a question for Dewberry of how many things they can do at the same time.
Well, we have funds that we must spend by the end of next year calendar year. That is December 31st, so I'm just working against that. And wondering what work we need to approve in a speedy manner. So that we can actually spend those funds and not do stuff.
Mhm.
So that's it, so I've not heard yet, other than hearing 6K, 346K, whether we are in a position to spend up to the 600. So
Can I
I'm just
come in?
wondering how do we.
Yeah,
approach
I
it?
think
No, because right now, and because you'll get a chance, and then, do you have any other questions of the
Well,
staff?
I think there's a couple different ways to do it. There is the Cumberland sidewalk extension. But if that's not the direction the council wanted to, they could also start, you could also start the engineering survey work for townwide curb replacements, all the and then that would plus
The townwide curb replacement is already in the Newbury's proposal.
And to be specific, I'm mentioning specifically the curb ramp, the proposal to bring them all into ADA compliance.
And what would be the potential spend instead?
So that would be about 50,000 of surveying and engineering work, a bit more than that. And then, and then
Yeah,
for
80,000
construction,
for surveying and engineering.
and then for construction, it would be about 327,000.
Okay,
So,
and that, we have that proposal already in front of us.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Rovak, do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions.
Councilor Khanna?
Yeah, I think, well, first I want to thank Dewberry for, very complete proposal. I think all the numbers are quite clear in there, and, it's their best guess of how much it will cost. Knowing that these things are a bit unpredictable, especially in a neighborhood like ours. I think I asked EJ to circulate a possible multi-year plan that sort of tries to implement what Dewberry has proposed. And I think the most important question is the one I think that Kabir has raised, is which I'd like to go through my proposed plan, and I want to hear from Dewberry
Yeah.
on whether it is feasible to do it in the time frame we have. Because the most important thing is that we cannot afford not to spend the ARPA money. And we need a very realistic assessment from Dewberry on what can be done basically in the next 12 months. Because I think, Debbie, you were alluding to us now. We shouldn't plan to end in December. We should plan to end in October, because things are always behind schedule. I don't know how, what the ARPA rules are regarding disbursements.
It is disbursement.
So if it's disbursements, that means all the contract, the construction, everything has to be done by 31st of December.
Well, why don't you put that on the record, the question that.
It is my understanding that every penny has to be dispersed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's clear. So, I think that, my suggestion, which EJ very kindly circulated, was that if this fiscal year, we essentially do the 3 hotspots as EJ defined: Cumberland, Surrey, Deal, Cumberland, Essex. Plus we do the survey and the design options and the charrette for the Cumberland extensions. That comes to about $400,000. And seems, and then we move into next fiscal year. Maybe we can even do a little bit earlier if I'd like to hear from Kevin how quickly you can go from the charrette to engineering, design, and so on. But the Cumberland extension then I think would be sort of the priority for fiscal year 27, which is about $90,000 engineering.
Don't you want to let him answer the question?
I want to go through this whole thing.
Yeah, no problem.
And tell me whether it's a feasible plan. or not.
Okay.
Because if I break it down, he doesn't have an answer. for
Okay,
me.
cool.
I think I would like for him to tell us what can be done by a year from today. So the question is, can we do the Cumberland, Surrey, Deal, Cumberland, the Essex slope, do the survey, design, charrette, the initial engineering, start some construction, and finish the construction for Cumberland, plus maybe start the curb ramp survey, all between now and October of next year, because that would use up $600,000 in ARPA money right there.
Yeah, I think that's very doable. Design wise, we're really only looking at 3, 4, maybe 5 months to get through all of the design of all of the different phases that you're looking for. And then it's a matter of getting getting all the permits finalized. They usually takes about few weeks in addition. And then the work can be broken out into different group. You could have a single contractor do the whole thing. You have multiple contractors working on different phases at the same time. Depending on the contractor, they may be able to have multiple crews working at the same time, since these are all very discrete areas. They wouldn't be bumping into each other or anything like that, so they could all be working at the same time.
Okay, thank you.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
I want to just go through what I
Okay.
thought we could do in 12 months.
Okay, excellent. Council
Yeah,
President Barr.
right.
You wanted,
I'm noticing that to do all of the design work, the total costs are around $350,000+. How much is the actual construction work for the 3 hotspots?
Well,
270,000.
Which together is 600,000.
Yeah.
So if we approve all of the designs in advance and the hotspots, we are comfortably within our 12 months ARPA.
Sorry, when you say 600, what do you call it?
It's a combination of, we get all of the design work done for all 7 proposals.
he's, right now, Council President Barr has the floor to ask the questions, and then after that, then you will lead the discussion and vote.
Right, so,
So, do you have further questions of?
no, that's really what I'm saying.
So you have no other questions?
No.
Okay. Are there any, does any citizen wish to speak?
No.
Okay, so now I'm gonna turn it over to the council president to lead the discussion and possible decision.
All right, so we've heard quite a bit of discussion already. Anybody got a proposal to? You want to put forward?
Yes, I mean, my proposal is that we phase this out over a number of years. That this fiscal year, we do 3 of the line items all the way survey, engineering, and construction, which is Cumberland, Surrey, Deal, Cumberland, and the Essex Slope. And start the Cumberland extension survey design options in Charette for $400,000. Then, assuming that the Charette in January or in 3 months from now shows us a way forward, we then move in next year with $90,000 for engineering of the Cumberland extension and start the construction of $280,000. We could also start next year the curb ramp survey, which is $27,000. What that means is that in 26 and 27, fiscal years 26, 27, we would use $600,000 from ARPA, plus we would need to get $200,000 from our capital budget. So the total in these 2 years is $800,000. As I said, split 600 between ARPA money and 200 from our capital budget. Then we would really move on to the 3rd year, which is fiscal year 28. And that's when we would start the work on the engineering of the curb ramps. Maybe start, if we have enough money, to start some of the construction and also start the curb and gutter replacement engineering in fiscal year 28. And then from fiscal year 29 onwards, it will take us many years to finish the curb ramps and gutter, curb and gutter replacements. As I said, curb ramps could be done over 5 years. I think the curb and gutter will take many years, given that's a $4 million construction estimate. So I think we should really keep the curb and gutter in almost like in a 20-year plan, because that's how much time it will probably take given the budget. But the other items, I think, are entirely doable between now and fiscal year 30. in the phases that I recommended. What I wanted to say is I'm not in favor of doing all the engineering work out of the ARPA money, because it would leave nothing then for the construction work, which I think we can start already in the next 12 months. So I think this phasing allows us to get started with the survey, engineering and construction, and puts in the outer years the curb ramps and curb and gutter replacement, engineering and construction with our own capital budget capacity, whatever that might be in the years to come.
Is there a second?
Wait a minute. I don't know, is that, are you making that as a motion? Because it needs to be clarified. Because it wasn't really a motion.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Is that different from what you were proposing?
Yes, it is.
So
And
could we talk about that for a second?
sure, yeah. What I'm proposing is, I mean, there's a lot of overlap, but I'm proposing a different usage for the ARPA money, and that's the point.
Yeah, could you lay out? your-
Right, what I'm concerned about with Rohit's proposal is that we will be praying that there aren't flooding rains in October next year, and there's no early freeze in October, because then the work stops. And so what I'm saying is, let's play it safer than that. Let's get all of the engineering designs done, because we want to see them. We really do want to see the engineering designs
the
done
three
for all of the
hotspots.
work. No, not just the 3 hotspots, for all 7 of the proposals.
Okay.
Okay, which is 356,000 according to the estimates provided by Dewberry. That leaves 250,000, well, roughly 250,000 plus 20,000 from our capital budget to do the 3 hotspots next year, which is going to take 12 months.
I like that proposal.
We can do that, and that spends all the ARPA money, and then certainly Rohit's ideas for the future year spending roll in at that point for doing the other work, and that is appropriate.
Well, the one benefit of that, if that maybe Rohit could consider, is that by having the engineering designs done, we can then budget better. for
We
the
certainly can, yes.
Actual work for those other areas, for the 4 other areas. So there is definitely some advantage to that.
So can I clarify? You're saying to do all the engineering and design work, which is $350,000.
Yes.
Stable here,
56.
$354,150.
Right, yeah.
And the balance of about $300,000 that we would have left in ARPA money would then be used for the construction work.
Yes,
For the 3 hotspots.
right. It might take a little bit from our capital budget, but yes.
We have 200K on that. For this specific purpose,
For this fiscal year.
for this fiscal year.
And what Robin's plan does is it makes sure we use the ARPA money and we're not at risk of losing it. This is money we'd have to spend anyway.
Yes, and it does another thing, which is that it gives us clear plans for additional areas against which we can then do capital budgeting.
It gives
More accurately.
material.
So there's a dual advantage to that, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the concern I have with that is it almost certainly means that there will not be money for Cumberland extension construction. I just don't see how we would have the budget for that. We're basically locking that out forever.
No, because we decide whether we want to spend on that or the other areas, right? It's our call. All we're doing now is agreeing that those 3 hotspots will get done. I don't see.
All we need to do is allocate 300,000 that year in our capital budget to make sure that it gets done. Once we've got the estimate for,
Yeah, it would be our call, which it will always be our call, so. I don't see how it's lost, so I don't see it, I may be missing it, but I think it's our call to decide.
I understand what you're saying, it's our call. It means that we are not using ARPA money for the Cumberland extension.
I think it's too risky.
And I
I
think,
see.
and I think for me, I think, I am not convinced that if you ask me to prioritize between the Cumberland extension and the curb ramps and the curb and gutter replacement, for me, the Cumberland extension is a higher priority. And so, that is why I would prefer to have that at the mercy of our decision making later on our capital budget. And not have Cumberland extension being subject to availability or discussion on the capital budget. I think that's the difference in opinion.
Is there any way to amend the budget now to make sure we have that money, that we bring it over in some way now? Okay.
Ron, you want to run, Mr. Town Attorney, do you want to?
Yeah,
answer
the
that?
budget can be amended at any time. Under state law, that does require a supermajority vote in order to do a supplemental appropriation after annual levy, but yeah, you can do that with supermajority vote
mean, I guess that like,
from reserves.
Rohit, do you think that we can get the Cumberland extension sidewalk done within the next fiscal, within 2026? I mean,
I don't think it can be done in fiscal year 26. I think it's done in calendar year 26. I think
or
Kevin has
calendar
suggested,
year 2020.
that's what Kevin has said, that he thinks it can be done in calendar year 26, which would then, straddle 2 fiscal years.
But we have to also, I mean, do like a huge, like, we're gonna have to talk to all the
So
neighbors.
that's what he said will take 3 months to do the charrette, right, in January. And so it is quite possible that in January we may come to the conclusion that it's not feasible,
Right.
either technically or politically.
Right,
And then I think it's fine to go with Robin's plan and do all the engineering work and spend all the money in a year. So my point is that as a plan B, I'm fine with it. Because then we have a plan B, which we can then ask Dewberry to do all the engineering work, which they could do in calendar year 2026.
I mean, I think that the Cumberland extension of the sidewalk is a bigger deal than, the little ramp from Cumberland to Deal. Like, I don't think, I live on the street, like, I mean, yes, I think it should have a sidewalk, but I don't think it's like the biggest deal. I do think that the Cumberland Surrey steps are a big deal.
Yeah.
But I don't personally think that Essex is a big deal, but I also don't live on Essex. But I just think that if we're gonna do this, the sidewalk extension, I mean, we have to tell everyone on that side of Cumberland
Yeah.
that it's gonna be, like, wouldn't we have to take down a lot of trees?
No, but that's
and-
precisely the point of a charrette, right? The point
Yeah.
of a charrette is that you have a community meeting where Dewberry will present some design options, the pros and cons, constraints. And then, as my understanding is Dewberry has done this before. They know how, they know how to do it. And you have to have a conversation and see if there are people who are persuadable, not persuadable. In the end, it's quite possible that we will come to the conclusion, no, there is no compromise, there is no option that works. But we don't know that until we try.
But in your estimate, having been involved in this issue, maybe both of you, what's your sort of rough assessment? The likely, is it truly a 50% chance?
I think people will do it.
There's a high likelihood.
I mean,
That's an important factor.
I
because-
think that, it'll be weird like that. It's that tight section that's, where kind of first the sidewalk ends, it's tight there. And I think that there's a lot of gardening and trees and driveways and things that are right there that are gonna have a problem, like, kind of butting up to the house that was just built. Not, next to Russell Green. Like that whole strip right there, I think down towards the end. It'll be much easier, cause they seem to have bigger lawns, I think. So,
Yeah,
But
but
we
we are.
start the charrette now.
Yeah.
He said he needs 3 months to do the drawings and the surveying.
Why?
Well, can we start a consultation process? We cannot ask.
I mean, I think that it's, I mean, I think we can I think it's doable to have a consultation process, but I think if you're going to consult the residents in Cumberland, you have to have something to show them. And I think Dewberry has to be able to show them what can. Now, for example, some people will say, put the sidewalk on the other side of the street. Others will say, put on the other side of the street. I think we need drawings from them that show we can put it on this side, but so many trees have to come down. Or we put it on the other side, and this will have such and such problem with stormwater or something. I don't know, I'm just saying. And I mean, Kevin, you can, you know, you and I had this conversation when we walked down Cumberland. And I think it's very difficult for people to have a meaningful conversation without being able to visualize what is being proposed. And we can't propose anything until they have actually done some surveying and done some drawings on how the sidewalk would go down, on which side, bypassing what trees, where, and so on. I think it's what trees, some trees will have to come down. I think it's important for them to identify those so people can know what's going to happen. So I think a consultation on any of that is, I think, frankly, you know, we'll have to come back and do it all over again. So to me, it's better to do it thoroughly, like a consultation for a major infrastructure project. We should have them put a proposal or options on the table and do it in January. And I fully agree with you. There's a very high risk that if you do the charrette in January, that's what I was hoping you would say you did charrette before January. That you know, to do all the construction between January and October sounds very, very risky. But even if we can spend most of the money on the construction next fiscal year, then the burden on our capital budget, if it goes into 2027, will not be that great.
What would be the sidewalk implementation cost?
The sidewalk implemented construction,
Yeah.
$280,000.
So
Rohit, excuse my arithmetic here for a moment, but there's no more cost involved in either way. What we're doing, we're paying for all the engineering design up front. We're subtracting that from the capital costs going forward. So we're reducing the capital costs in future years. With your method, what we're doing is bundling those engineering design costs in with the future projects. So they're higher capital cost for those in future years. In other words, they're equal costs, both of them. The only difference.
Another thing that these costs, you bring them forward, but within ARPA.
Yes, right. Right. It's just
What
it
is the same.
right.
The risk is different though. The risk is that if we do not have $200,000 in capital budget, we're left high and dry on the Cumberland extension. I would prefer to take the risk on the curb ramps and the curb and gutter replacement, which is different from the risk you would take.
If we do the charrette in the first half of next year.
In January.
Yeah. And there's overwhelming support, I think we will have to budget the 280K sidewalk extension. And I think we are capable of putting
It's
280K.
it's
We have
300, to be clear, it's
Okay, now
370.
370.
Yeah.
But we will make,
280 is the construction, 90,000 is engineering.
the engineering is going to be covered.
Already,
Already in the ARPA fund. We will take care of all design engineering upfront. And then we will do the construction costs in a phased manner. And for sidewalk, we can, after charrette, because it is a big gate to cross, do we know the town wants it? If the town says it wants it, I'm sorry, we have to make, and we have been putting aside 200K in the capital budget, we have reserves. I'm pretty confident we'll be able to budget 280K if the town wants a sidewalk extension. That's what I meant. Yeah, so it is if the town wants it, not that we want it. And so that's why we do the charrette, right? So I think if after that, if the town is divided and it's conflicted, we have to take that into consideration. But if the town is overwhelming in favor of it, you have to make it happen. And I think at 280K, I do believe we can make it happen. So I think these are doable. And Robin's proposal actually is a better way for us to make the best use of ARPA at the end of the day. So You know, I think the good thing here is that we are leveraging Dewberry to feed into a shared process for sidewalks, and that's a victory. To your point, that we can't run that. We need a design, we need the conversation be driven by clear designs, and we're leveraging Dewberry for that. I think that's the best way to do sidewalk extension, rather than to have endless conversations with people who have differential visions of that. So I think I'm hearing a scenario here where Robin's proposal makes more sense on that. And I think what I'm saying is that after the charrette, if the town wants it, guys, we have to make the budget.
Yeah,
We have to make it happen.
Rohit, it's a variation on your proposal. What I'm saying is that your timeline spreading out is correct. It's just we're rebudgeting a bit so that we get
No, I
things.
think Rohit's fundamental concern is he wants to tie the sidewalk extension to ARPA money because it's clear money that's there.
Exactly right.
And so he believes that will make sure the sidewalk will happen. And I'm saying if you run a charrette process, which you all committed to, and the town wants sidewalks, guys.
We'll get the sidewalk.
We will have to make the sidewalk happen, and at 280K, that's why we created, by the way, Rohit, the capital line.
Okay.
So we can do these things against clear defined design and process.
So are we assured that Dewberry can make this happen, Kevin? By January to have this
I think
correct?
they can, I mean, 3 months is already pretty generous in my humble opinion, they can't answer questions right now. But in 3 months is totally doable to come up with this.
My concern is limited. I know the Cumberland folks well, and I know when they are in our council meetings that they extend our council meetings by a couple of hours. That the charrettes are going to be interesting and long in discussion.
That's fine, but we go in with good faith, we
Right.
present designs.
No, what I'm saying is that's all good and let it happen, but putting them in a tight timeline is a mistake. Don't do that.
I think we are saying we do it when the designs are ready.
Yes,
So that's January, we do it then.
right.
We don't delay it further than that, I think is what I'm hearing, which seems to me the right way to do it. I appreciate Rohit's comment that we should do it with the designs. Because of your concern that it will be conflictual, we need to have the designs, we need to be grounded in a technical expert saying this is the best way to extend sidewalks in Cumberland. You know, and we are responding to a gap in our infrastructure. And if the residents are behind it, we make it happen.
Yeah, look, you understand the budgeting process better than I do. If you are confident that in fiscal year 20, or let's just say calendar year 2026, which straddles 2 fiscal years and into fiscal year 27, it should not be a problem to find, 280,000 or.
I don't believe so, given my 4 years of, and Robin's 10 years.
Then I'm comfortable going with Robin's proposal. That was, as I said, you rightly pointed, that was my major concern. Is if you are suggesting that the risk, I'm not saying it's zero, but it's minimal, I'm prepared to go with Robin's proposal.
The risk is zero if the charrette yields.
Yeah,
We
of
have
course,
to
no,
do
I
it.
fully understand. If the charrette yields conflict and no
No,
progress.
no, the other way around,
we
if the
have to
charrette
be
said
able
we
to
have to
move.
do it, we have to do it.
Okay, well,
Okay, it sounds like Robin's ready to make a
Yes,
motion,
Yes, go ahead, Rob.
Okay, so I.
and Ron will help you.
All right, I move that we do the, what are known as the hot 3 proposals, first. Be concluded over the next 12 months. These are the.
So hold on a second, it's approved a contract with
Yes.
council, Mr. Town Attorney, can you help him here?
Yes,
To approve
yeah, Mr.
a,
Mayor, to approve Dewberry's proposal for surveying, planning and engineering services. The proposal will be approved with the condition that Dewberry will proceed with work once given a notice to proceed with respect to different elements, and the council tonight is instructing the manager to issue the notice to proceed with respect to all the engineering. And
And the first 3 proposals, which are, Deal and Little Cumberland Corner. Big Cumberland and Surrey intersection, and the 4800 block of Essex steep slope.
thank
Okay.
you.
is that your,
Sorry, just to clarify, so for those 3, it's a survey, engineering and construction.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you say that?
because we got a second,
Right,
so
and-
now it's discussion.
It's survey engineering and construction for those 3 and survey and engineering for the rest.
For the rest and propose,
Yeah.
second.
Okay, is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those,
Thank you.
thank you. There was outstanding legislating or whatever you want to call it.
And stuff that gets
Okay,
repetitive, yes.
the next item is consideration of the introduction and adoption of a resolution to amend the permit fee and activity schedule. Mr. Town Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The only comment I'll add, since this has been discussed in a couple work sessions, is this version has that $250 food truck deposit fee that full committee chair Zach made a public comment about. And then I have not heard from any residents about requesting any other change, changes to the proposed changes.
Okay, you have a question?
No.
Is that it?
That's all.
Okay, Council President Barr, do you have any questions?
No questions, but if somebody wants to propose dropping the deposit, I will vote in favor of dropping the deposit this time around.
Council Member Howard, do you have any questions?
Can I say something about the deposit? Because.
Well, wait a minute. So now it's just ask questions, then you'll be able to
Okay, I have
debate.
no question. Just go.
Councilor Kumar.
EJ. What is your response to the full committee chair's proposal to drop the deposit?
So
What's your recommendation to council?
So I'm not familiar with the conversations yet with the 6 other pools. So I think the nice thing about the fee schedule is it can always be changed. So if the council would like to start the next pool season with a food truck deposit, and then it turns out that none of the food trucks are willing to do that, the council can as quickly remove it as it's been added. So since it's already in the proposal, I would recommend keeping it in for now. But having me and the staff keep a close eye on it. And as we start preparing for the next pool season and start trundling out food trucks, really pay attention to how they react to the deposit.
But why don't you also explain for the record what the public policy was for this? Because it's just a deposit, it's not a fee. And I think there were reasons that were discussed in work sessions as to why this would be beneficial to the town.
The purpose of the deposit would be kind of like any other deposit the town has, where if a food truck broke a curb or left a bunch of trash or recycling or strewn about that required our staff to do work on their behalf. That's what the deposit would be for.
I hope you won't consider my next question unfair because we've been discussing this for a while, but did you talk to folks that have actually got food trucks to the town? Over the last couple of summers, we've had a lot of food trucks and groups of our residents have organized that to understand, sort of reflect the views that Max was bringing.
Yeah, I mainly talked to the pool committee and Josh Rosenthal, since they are people responsible for the food trucks primarily.
And what was their response when you spoke to them? What Matt summarized?
That they believe that it would provide a undue burden on the food truck operators. And that as of now, there hasn't been any major issues with them in terms of any damage or mess. And so they would request that the deposit be dropped in its entirety.
But you didn't buy that much.
Well, I think it's a good rationale. I think it's like I said, I think it's something that I should definitely keep an eye on and report to the council on. I think it's food trucks are big trucks. Like if they could very easily hit a curb or something, and if people aren't being careful, which unfortunately happens from time to time, I think it's worth, or I recommend it's worth testing it.
Thank you. No more questions.
Councilmember Rovak,
I don't have any questions.
Councilor Khanna.
Yes, questions. Matt made a reference to food truck here at the town hall. Have we had any problems at the town hall with food trucks?
That would be one day.
No.
Here, but I don't know how things work out at the pool.
Yeah, okay. I just want to confirm the town.
For the record, no problem.
No problems with the town. I,
Well, wait a minute, right now it's just a you'll be debating.
oh,
it,
so it's
but-
only questions now.
Yeah,
it's not-
yeah.
Okay. No
You have any
other
questions? Okay. Did any citizen? Okay, so I'm gonna turn it over to the council president to lead the discussion.
Okay, so we've discussed this many times before, and we can vote it as it stands. Does anybody wish to amend it?
I do.
All right, what was your amendment?
I suggest that we take the deposit out. And you want me to talk to that? I can.
All right, well, let's get a second first of all.
I second.
Okay,
I was part of extensive conversations with the full committee on this. And nobody has seen it as a problem so far. I don't think we've had a problem. Now, personally, I'm not down there for the food trucks. I find them annoying. But
Just the food part of the truck.
the food part, I mean, you can't even get to order yourself anything. I've been scorned many times, so I don't do that anymore. But people seem to like them. And I'm afraid, because these are small business owners, they're not gonna come, because they're not gonna want the layer to run to the town hall, make the deposit, hope they get it back. If we have a problem, I think that's when we act on it. I don't think, it's been years now we've had food trucks. And I don't believe there's been a problem. And I think people will be disappointed if we lose our food trucks. They seem to like them. And I suggest we take that out, and if we have a problem, we watch it closely. You know, and if we have a problem, if we have a trash problem, if they've broken anything, well, then we gotta go back and reinstate a deposit. So that's my 2 cents.
I have some privilege inside of this. My wife has attempted to bring food trucks over multiple summers, and it is a bit of, because you have to guarantee a certain level of business. So not all food trucks are drawn to the town. And so there's a risk that it becomes harder to get that. So, but I also appreciated what EJ was saying. You know, these are large vehicles moving in narrow lanes and things could happen. So I think either way, good faith, kind of, we should monitor next summer and decide if I'm in favor of dropping it now because the pool committee is so vehemently against
Right.
it. But we may want to bring it in if we do find a problem, and EJ presented some good reasons that could be.
No, if these trucks were a menace to the bridge, you know, are they too heavy for the bridge?
Residents are menaced to the bridge.
Are they meant for residents?
That's Shannon knows.
But are these trucks, are they too heavy? Is it a bad idea to bring trucks over to do this once a week? It is once a week, right?
No, I think, well, we can discuss all of that.
But that isn't the issue. The only, okay, so
Yeah,
you
we
made
can
it.
do- that's
Okay, is there
that's
further
your
discussion?
truck issue.
Is there
We can
further
decide that.
discussion on the motion?
What's the
amendment.
amendment? The amendment
They have-
Hearing none, all those in favor?
of the amendment.
Sorry,
Okay.
Yeah.
are we just discussing this?
The amendment.
The amendment.
Because.
Take it out.
I'm fine with that. I had a
So
point
let's vote
regarding
for the-
something else in the.
Okay, but
future.
this is just on the amendment.
Yeah.
This
Is there
amendment.
further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so now that's taken out. Now, did you have another amendment?
Yes, I had a question about canopy tree removal. I'm trying to understand why we charge residents $50 per tree to remove a diseased tree. Sounds like insult to injury.
I agree.
I can fully understand if it's not a diseased tree, in which case Tolbert can torture them. But I think that, once he has determined that it's a
This is
diseased
taped.
tree.
You know this is taped,
Report,
right?
this is public figure. The council does not endorse torture.
The Geneva
Well,
Convention
that's not,
applies.
it's not a new fee.
It's not a new fee.
So
but
I don't think you should do anything with that tonight because it hasn't really been discussed properly. It's just, that's an existing fee. So I don't think you should be taking fees out.
I thought we already had taken it out, because I brought this up, like, I think a year and a half ago. That why would you pay it for a tree when, I mean, it's like a double whammy to you, cause like no
You
one
didn't
wants to
control the
like.
If
3D
it-
disease.
Right.
If it
And now
means, if
you're
it means that we
paying for
can't
it.
approve the fee schedule today, and we need to come back and put it
No.
on the agenda of the
Propose
next
the
work session.
amendment.
What I
We
was.
can propose the amendment to drop the fees and we can. vote
That is
on
my
it.
proposed amendment, is to drop fees for canopy trees.
I second.
Okay, is there discussion? I mean, I don't think it's a good
We can
idea.
vote on it.
I don't think it's a good
Why don't
idea
we-
to,
Why not?
because it
it's
hasn't
decent.
really been processed, but it's
Yeah,
up
we
to
haven't really
you.
thought about it yet at the point.
And
What's
you
the
should
think
get,
What is there to think about?
well,
We've been
well,
discussing the entire.
but there's
thing.
but there's a reason for all these fees.
If you-
And to haphazardly take it out with having gone through a process and a discussion.
But
it's
what's a
not good
disease
idea.
tree for a
So I have
start?
a suggestion.
Whatever
Wait a
it's told,
second.
however
If
it's
this
told,
needs
we're
to be
determined.
talked about more, then let's just, leave it in and put it on the agenda for next month.
We can put
Do a
it,
work session to talk
yeah,
about it,
yeah.
and then we can always take it out.
Would owners
That's
suddenly
absolutely
declaim
fine.
trees were diseased because? it was-
I don't think
It's
that-
those kinds of
It
things is
hasn't
what
been
I'm
a
trying to say.
it hasn't been a problem. So the food truck thing was new and there was opposition. This is a fee that's probably been in place for a long time. And to take it out without having done the research on why it's there and what's the impact, I don't think it's a good idea.
All right, so should
That's
we
all.
go ahead and pass?
So,
this?
but wait a
I'll be
minute,
back.
but wait a minute, it's on, it has to be. So
Voted
it was,
down.
yeah, it has to be voted down. I suggest you
Sorry.
vote it down. All those in favor, all those opposed. So you're all opposed,
We're
thank
not
you.
opposed to
What are we
it.
voting on?
The amendment, the Rohit's
We are
amendment.
saying,
Oh,
we're
so
not.
so we're
going to-
voting.
You're
so-
Against
voting
that one.
down my amendment.
You're voting on the
I'm
amendment.
voting
down.
for your amendment.
I'm voting for my.
I'm voting for it.
Oh, no.
Well, I thought Jeffrey's point was well taken. That,
We can
Well,
do it
I
both
mean,
ways.
but
We
wait a
can
minute.
remove it
Okay, wait a
and
minute.
discuss it and bring it
Okay,
back.
okay,
Why not?
that's absolutely right. So you
That's
voted
it.
to
Yeah.
take it out. So, and we will discuss it at a future work session. So,
Fair enough.
now, are there any further amendments? So the
Yeah,
motion,
so-
who wants to make a motion on the fee schedule as amended?
All right, I move that we approve the fee schedule as amended.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed. Okay, that was excellent. Okay, the next item, consideration of a motion to draft a letter in support for a grant application by Somerset House for Little Falls Branch Stream Restoration. And this was Council President
Yeah,
Barr's.
right. So Kabir and I met Stephanie Kinney and other representatives from Somerset House with Kelly and Patty Friedman to look at what they're proposing there. And they've been doing a lot of work in their own area of the woods, tidying them up. And they've looked at the stream and realized that they need to do work on the stream. The bridge that's there, which is the bridge on Wisconsin, that's just north of Somerset House, originally had a stone embankment just south of it. Some of that stone embankment has crumbled and fallen into the stream, which is narrowing the stream at that point. And when the water rushes through in that narrow stream, it's now seriously eroded the stream bank several yards downstream. So the great pooling effect there. So they are looking for a grant with Little Falls Watershed Alliance to restore the bank and to restore the embankment, the stone embankment there, and also reinforce the stream bank to prevent further damage. That's it. Why it's a good idea for Somerset to support it is, of course, that's just upstream of Somerset's own area, and anything we can do to stop the rushing stream down will help our banks and help stop erosion in our banks. So that particularly recreating that embankment is a very good idea.
Is that?
That's
summarizes
it
it.
pretty much.
Okay, thank you.
And
Counts-
so,
Thank you. That's good. Councilmember Heller, do you have any questions?
so this is just to support them and something they want to do. It's not gonna cost us any
it
money.
doesn't cost us a cent.
No,
It's just a
Okay.
letter.
Okay.
it's the only question. Councilmember Kumar, do you have any questions?
No question, that was with Ron.
Councilmember Rovak, do you have any questions?
Is it controversial at all?
No.
No, okay, because I know that there was like weird things with, you
No.
know,
No, the
People
only
cleaning out
the only
things.
controversial things were the state highway
No.
administration really should
We-
be paying for it, but.
We work very
The
closely.
only
with
controversial
customer
part is
service.
that the runoff is from the golf club.
Got it.
Okay, Councilor Khan, do you have any questions?
I mean, I'm sure it's not controversial, but I would have hoped that we would have had PNRC sort of weigh in on it formally. I know you mentioned names of individuals on the committee, but not the committee as a committee. And on something like this, it seems good practice to have a committee weigh in, advising the council. I mean, I fully respect.
So have
the
they
fact-
have they met recently?
Right, I mean, the issue is timing, that they did actually meet recently,
And then
2 weeks
nobody's
ago.
here, nobody's here.
but they didn't
testifying.
have, what was, they didn't have this on their agenda 2 weeks ago because this came up just last week.
Well, what might help, you're right. What might help is that the reason Patty and Kelly were there is because the NRC, effectively deputized them to engage with these guys. And so I think the issue is that they need to submit this application.
Yes, they do, that's what.
So we could run it in parallel. I'm pretty confident that the NRC will endorse it, but we could, for the sake of completion, run it in parallel and have the PNRC.
I think we should
But
respect the committee process a bit. I mean, otherwise it looks like.
We'll miss the timing. for
The
that.
timing is very tight,
Yeah,
right?
and that money will help improve the Vinton Park.
Yeah.
I also think
I think if we can at least get a message from the chair of the committee confirming what you're saying, it's just, I think, just to make sure that we have.
So you
committee on
could,
board.
so you could make a motion to approve this pending approval by the chair of the committee.
I mean, I do have
Why
one.
would it be the chair?
who's the chair?
Josh Rosen.
Well, why would it be just the chair? It would be the whole
I
committee.
mean, just the whole committee.
Well,
Yeah,
you,
so-
well,
so
do you want to make?
The chair can assemble
We have to-
approval from the
Make a
committee.
motion.
I don't-
Yeah, make a
I don't
motion.
know, I mean, just to, there's some of the questions say this is, when does this application have to be submitted?
November 7th is the deadline, but they're supposed to share it with the group who are doing the review 2 weeks before that, so the real deadline is in roughly 2.5 weeks.
And because we are the co-owners of that space, it's pretty powerful if we are endorsing.
It also falls under the good neighbor thing.
100%.
We need to be
But-
good neighbors all around, so when we
Okay,
need
so
something.
let's let
I
Councilor
think
Khanna
just
make a
one- Yeah,
motion.
just, sorry, just one other point, which, a little bit on the lines of what I said on the procurement thing.
Oh, okay, we'll wait. Okay,
It
so
would
wait a
be-
minute,
it
so
would-
wait a minute,
yeah.
so there's a resident wants to comment, so do you have any other questions of?
Yeah, I do have other questions. Is it possible to see the actual grant application? It seems, again, I'm sort of flying blind over here. being
I'm
asked
sure
to
we can
endorse
get the,
something
yes, we can get you the,
Without,
app-
without actually.
we
seeing what's in the
can get you
application.
the application.
Yeah, it's not written yet, but.
But we can have,
So I've been, as a council member, we've been asked to endorse a letter in support of something that hasn't been written yet. I'm a little bit
so
trust but verify.
that all,
Such
that
a
all
stickler.
makes, that all, those are all
Some
good
comes down to
questions.
whether you trust
So,
government.
so it has, so the answer to that question, it hasn't been drafted yet. Okay, so do you have any other questions
No other questions.
before you? Okay, so now, I believe, member of the public,
Kumar Vaswani submitted a written comment. Kumar Vaswani said, the town providing a letter should be contingent on Somerset House giving the town a copy of the grant application, as well as a copy of the plan that results from the proposal, as well as periodic progress reports.
okay, so now you have your motion.
I actually don't need a progress report.
Do you, but do you want to, why don't you just, I think you're ready to make a motion.
You want it in
Because-
person,
because all that's
progress
good.
report in person.
All that you're saying is good, so just make a motion.
Just do it.
I don't know, I am this.
Until you-
You make a motion to approve the drafting of the letter of support contingent on getting
Okay.
whatever you want.
Very good, thank you. Okay, so I make a motion to approve the letter of support contingent on one, the PNRC confirming its support for Somerset House's application. And two, that the grant application will be shared with the council members before it is submitted.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Is there a discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, excellent. Okay, the next item is introduction of an ordinance to require a real property sale disclosure regarding town regulations. Mr. Town Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this has been discussed at multiple work sessions. At the last work session, some minor, between the last work session and now, some minor edits were made. So, Ron, do you want to, can you briefly go over those?
Sure. Yes, let me open up the red line.
Sorry,
So
the changes
Robin,
been made since the work session, since it was introduced.
my notes reflect the last changes were made following September 16 correspondence from our chair, who suggested that we refer to the town as a 5-member town council managed by professional staff. Just to clarify the framework of the town government.
Yeah, that's the comments on 16.
Thank you. And that was it.
Yeah, the language I gave you, was that change the language on the 5-member council to the town.
So is that in there?
It's in one of them, but not the other. The town conducts governance through a mayor and 5-member council, and it's managed by professional staff. It's the new language that is in the real
in the
property
introduction.
one, but not in the landlord-tenant relations one. I think it should be in the landlord-tenant relations one.
But we're not, but right now we're doing the real property.
Yeah.
So do you have any other questions about, remember, this is just an
I have no other
introduction
questions.
tonight. Okay, thank you. Councilmember Heller, do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Councilmember Kumar.
No.
Councilmember Rovak.
No,
Councilmember Khanna.
No.
So is there a motion to introduce?
So moved.
Is there a second? Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So I would just advise everybody to please read all this carefully so that you might have an amendment when it's on for approval. The next item is introduction of an ordinance to adopt a new chapter regarding landlord-tenant relations and require a lease addendum regarding town regulations. Mr. Town Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This proposed ordinance has also been discussed at a number of work sessions. And after the last work session, there was also a slight edit made to this one, I believe.
Okay, thank you. Council President Barr, do you have any
Yeah,
questions?
well, right, I just asked that an editorial correction be made to mirror the language in the real property one where it's the mayor and 5-member council provide governance. It's a language there. The language here is that the 5-member council does it, and
So,
the mayor is
so,
left out.
so, Mr. Town Attorney, you can make that and then when they
Yes, it could be
Introduce it
introduced as
amended
Mr.
by
Mayor,
the
yes.
town attorney, yeah. Is that?
That's fine.
Thank you. Councilor Heller. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Councilor Kumar,
No.
Councilor Rovak, Councilor Khanna.
No.
Thank you. Is there a motion to introduce?
So moved.
Is there a second? I heard Heller. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The next item is introduction of an ordinance to amend the code of ordinances to prohibit parking on a certain portion of Cumberland Avenue. Mr. Town Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This ordinance has also been discussed at a prior work session. Basically would extend the no parking zone slightly. The main thing I want to bring attention to is that this morning, a resident comment was submitted. Mark Klapow, 4707 Cumberland, which is the house.
Right, the first house.
Mhm.
Yeah, and coming out against it, asking the council to not do not adopt the proposed ordinance change. And then I also know that Margie Cutler is on the Zoom and she
Well, but for introductions, we don't have,
yeah,
there's no public hearing.
but that's all.
Okay, thank you. But she can submit, tell her that she can submit comments.
Mhm.
Because it's not being passed tonight, it's just being introduced. Council President Barr, do you have any questions?
I have no questions, but please, everybody, make sure you've read the comments. The
Thank you.
President.
Council Member Heller, do you have any questions?
I do, so I read what Mark sent, it was very compelling. And what's our procedure then if we want to take that piece out? Because there's more than.
You don't have to vote to introduce this.
So is this piece, this introduction, only for that piece?
Yeah.
In front of his house?
That's the only thing to make.
Oh, then I think we need to not introduce this.
Okay, but now it's just asked, that was your question. Do you have any other questions? Okay, thank you. Councilor Kumar, do you have any
I had
questions?
a similar question. I just want to double clarify, folks will be patient with me. What is new in terms of restrictions on parking this versus what we've seen now?
It would add it would extend the no parking zone in front of 4707 Cumberland by one additional space for 25.
That is the only.
That is the
new-
only change in the.
So why are we proposing that change?
This was a proposal by the traffic group, because of their traffic study.
And it was also requested by the parents of the Somerset Elementary School.
And on
That
the
we met
traffic
with.
group, what will their study conclude?
They basically recommended this because of, they argued that if a car is parked right there, it can affect the sight lines of cars coming down Warwick Lane.
Is the traffic group here?
Not tonight, no.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Roback, do you have any questions?
So all of this, like that, where it says Cumberland North, 50 feet east of Deal Place, and all of those things are already. We already have those as no parking, right?
Yeah.
So the only change is this one change
Yeah,
for that
25
one
feet to
house on
45.
Cumberland? Okay.
Councilmember Khan, do you have any questions?
Yes, so just to clarify something you said, DJ. It's going from 25 feet from the intersection to 45 feet. That's an additional 20 feet. Which seems to be more than one parking space. I mean, is it the entire frontage of 4707 Cumberland Avenue? I just want to, I'm trying to understand the dimensions here.
Yeah, so
20 feet
It
seems
would-
basically suggests that
Cars.
there's that no car could be parked in front of that house.
yes, that's what I would do.
That's what it will do.
Yeah, it would extend to the driveway apron.
Okay,
Thank you.
I would like to suggest that this be, I can remove this from the agenda, right, Mr. Town Attorney?
Yes, Mr.
Because I don't think this is ready to be introduced.
Agreed.
So I'm taking that up.
So we'll go back to a work session?
Yeah, it'll go back to work session.
We've got
And then
two other
and then
things.
we will get, what we will do is we will ask for more official input from the parents and from the other, but it's not ready because I don't think three of you want to introduce this. So the final two items, first is the adoption of the resolution about closing Cumberland Avenue, and I'll let Councilmember Rovac move that with the change of the time.
So I.
Because it's 5:30, right?
Yeah, so it says 6:30 on our piece of paper agenda, but it said 5:30 in the actual document.
I just mistyped on.
Yeah, so just move
Okay.
changing it from 5:30 to 6:30.
No, I
No,
wanted to
that's the other way.
change from 6:30 to 5:30.
This should
Yeah,
be
that's what I
5:30.
meant.
So
I'm
just
sorry.
make the motion.
So just make the
Oh,
motion
I would like to make the motion
to approve this resolution and
to
move it at
approve this
5:30.
resolution
Closing.
and
5:30,
close
5:30.
Cumberland Avenue between Warwick Place and Devon Lane from 5:30 PM to 9 o'clock PM on Thursday. Well,
Okay.
it's actually Friday, October 31st.
That sounds right.
Right. Okay, is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
Did you check?
Is
the
there a
calendar?
discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
And now Councilmember Khanna.
Yes. So I'm proposing an amendment to the resolution for the town of Somerset to recognize the month of October as National Pedestrian Safety Month. to add a sentence stating that the town has approved a safe sidewalk day for October 20th. As part of
Okay,
this
is there a
month.
second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, thank you. Is there a motion to
So
adjourn?
moved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
You